Hello, hi guys, welcome to the Two Dogs Podcast, and it's me, Dr. Ellie.
And I'm Dr. Ingky, and welcome to the podcast whereby two medical doctors, we speak about things almost nothing medical, and a lot of times, right, we don't actually do much research on a topic, but we give you our point of view, and probably from our experience, because both of us add up, right, we are roughly about 80, more than 82 years, and majority it's actually him contributing.
This week is me. I'll take the
him contributing.
Right. So this week we are going to talk about a topic that's a bit controversial. Controversial because, right, sitting next to me is a TikTok king, Instagram king, Facebook king, and shit, I don't know how much of screen time he has.
Okay, basically, right, basically, can you guess how much screen time do you use per day?
Oh, right. So my iPhone tells me it's 13 hours per day screen time.
Shoot,
But
that's a lot.
But it's not true 13 hours.
But why is your phone on for 13 hours then?
My phone is on 13 hours because I don't want it to shut down when I'm operating.
Why don't you want it shut down when you're actually operating?
No, because then I get important messages coming in, and sometimes I get phone calls, and if it's silent, I don't see it. So I need the notification to slide in.
So basically, when you're in operation, there is a nurse. You specifically hire a nurse just to keep it on for you.
No, I mean it's just not on the off button. It doesn't shut down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the true?
My true screen time, I would say once we minus that out, it's about 6 hours.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's about 6 hours.
Okay. So what do you actually? So just to give a comparison, right? So today.
But
itself,
I'm being honest, right?
Yeah.
So we're not sure.
Today itself, right? Today itself, I saw my screen time. Okay. So I woke up at 7 a.m.
Okay.
And now it's 7 p.m.
Yes.
Which we actually filming this at 7 p.m. So 12 hours. My screen time, of course, it's on my phone now. My screen time on my phone is 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
But this is the work time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He does a lot of it at night.
yeah. So
Before he goes to sleep,
But
he
of
watches
course,
his
but of course,
videos.
yeah. But of course, it does not include the amount of time I'm on my laptop. Yeah. So I'm probably on my screen time 80% of the time I'm awake. 80% I'm awake. Where okay, the only time I probably I don't use screen time when I'm awake is when I'm in the shower. When I'm in the shower with a patient, or when I'm having my meals. That's it. You know?
When you drive also.
No, well, okay lah. I try not to drive as much, but when I drive, I try not to use screen time as well.
Right,
of course, if police, you guys are watching, once in a while, just to give you that, right?
All right. So we are actually going to talk about how to reduce your screen time.
Or how to manage.
Your screen time. I'm not saying not reduce, just manage your screen time.
So my phone allows me to manage my screen time by setting how many hours that I wanted to switch on, and then when it hits the limit, there will be an alarm.
Okay.
So it actually notifies me, hey, you have arrived at your budgeted screen time. Do you still want to continue? If yes, please key in the password. If not, then we're going to shut it down. We just going to go screen lock. Yes.
Okay. What's the limit that you set?
I didn't set anything. Actually. Cannot lah. Okay, so this is so unfortunately, right? I in Malay we call it cari makan. In English it means I find food or I make a living.
He makes a living through.
I make a living through my phone, right? So I use a lot of social media. We do a lot of social media marketing, and hence I can't limit myself from the screen time. But of course, when I'm in certain events, social events, and dinners, and very, very important events, I try not to look at my phone. Okay, I try not to look at my phone. So what I have, so one of the ways to limit your screen time is to give yourself timeout. That means that at certain hours or certain social events, do not use your phone. Okay.
Do not at all?
Do not at all.
Or super minimize?
No. You do not
Do
at
not.
all.
Do not.
All right?
Okay.
So one of the main social events that I would say never use your phone, and actually this actually irritates me. It's when you're out with your family or friends. Again, due to the pandemic, a lot of us were indoors for many months, and there are friends and families whom we've not met for a long time. And sometimes it's difficult to meet people, and you have all your standard operating procedures, SOPs, and you don't want to meet them,
Yep.
And when you meet them, the last thing you want is to whip out your phone and then reply messages and all. These are people you haven't met in like months to years, and the last thing you want to do is look at your phone. And to be honest, right, when I'm out with people, right, and they take out the phone and then start playing the phone, I get a little bit pissed off. Really, I get a bit pissed off.
Are you
No. You don't use your phone much, all right?
Okay.
Right. So I get a bit pissed off because hey, I'm taking time out my schedule.
That's correct.
To meet with you.
That's correct.
And you are, texting someone. Trust me. If and I always tell people, if it's something important, they would have texted you.
They would have called you. Correct. They would have called you.
So basically, it's nothing important, but you're attending to something not important rather than speaking to me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I, during mealtime, social events,
I would say
it's a no-no.
For me, it's dinner.
Yes.
Yeah. So dinner, I really try that I don't want anyone to have the phone around. Because again, it's only one main meal a day. One main meal a day that we get to really sit down. So I think that would be one of the easiest way to start on a timeout on a daily basis. Depends how long your meals are. So if you want to have a shortest timeout, then have
meal, like 15 minutes meal.
20 minutes, half an hour. But if you're gonna have 1 hour of solid time, I think it's fair to just pretty much leave it alone for a while.
Yes.
Or put it maybe somewhere a bit further, so the phone call come in, it's okay, right? Whereas if it's just a message, probably you can wait just a little while.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, talking about screen time, you're right. There is that function, although I've not used it yet. But now that you mention it, I probably will want to set it for myself, just to rediscipline a little bit more. However, I don't think it functions to be sort of like go across all platforms, right? Let's say if it's an iPhone, will it work?
I think it doesn't.
Will it record also the iPad or?
I think you would have to set it individually.
Individually,
every different device you have to set it individually.
Apple, if you're listening to this, Tim Cook, please link all of it together under the same account. So one shot will just record everything.
All right.
But I think in terms of screen time, more so would be the phone when we talk about screen time.
That's right.
Rather than
your computer,
or your computers,
your TV.
Yeah, because generally computers, it's still you already set a time that you are going to be using it. Yes. So it's either for work or entertainment. You're not going to be meeting, let's say, going out for dinner and you whip up your laptop. That's totally impersonal. So I think more so, it's the phone that we find it to be more of a social etiquette barrier.
Yes.
Social etiquette barrier. Now, I tell you this really, not weird, but it used to be weird because the first time I saw it, I thought it was just really wacky. Couples will go out, sit across each other in a nice restaurant, order their food. After that, they just whip up the phone and no one talks to each other.
Yeah. To be honest, I've actually seen it not only on one occasion, multiple
occasions, right?
And what's worse is they're all dressed up
nicely,
and as you mentioned, they went to a nice restaurant. It's not like your regular meal kind of restaurant. This is like nice fancy restaurant, and they sit there and there's no communication between them. There's no eye contact, and they're all looking at their phones.
Yeah. And that sets the precedence to something that is even more serious, which is when I go to a family restaurant and I see a family of 5.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Father, mother, 3 kids. All 3. All 5, sorry. All 5 are on the phone.
Yes.
I wanted to take a photo, but couldn't whip it up in time. And by the time I took it out, someone was looking at me. So I'm like, okay, be sheepish, I don't want to do it. But imagine a whole family of 5. Father, mother, 3 kids. Everyone whips up the phone at the dinner table. They just ordered. They're waiting for the food. So the food hasn't arrived. So they decided everybody deserves the right to whip up the phone. And instead of talking to each other, they're just
they just
impersonally on the phone.
And I've actually seen a situation like what you mentioned, except there is an addition of a grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it's a family of 4
right.
plus a grandmother.
Okay.
Right? The younger 4, which are the parents and the kids, they're on their phone.
Okay.
The grandmother has no phone.
Okay.
So what she does is she just sits there and watches them, and she just stares at them.
Uh-huh.
And you can tell that she wants to have some sort of communication with them, but everyone's busy using their devices.
Okay.
And yeah, I would say it's a sad state, because I think one of the issues, I think probably with our generation, is we grew up without any device. Right?
Yes.
So once something as addictive as a phone arrives in our hands, right, we do not know what to do with it, and we just are stuck to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And kids these days, they just watch and learn. Right. If they see their parents glued to their phones, they also want to be glued to the phones.
Correct. Right. Correct. So a lot of it is setting by example. So if you don't want the kids to go into this whole too much of screen time routine, parents should really set an example, especially during the dinner time, interaction time with the kids. I think more so, if you want to teach your kids, you yourself have to be able to set that example. Yeah. Talking to the kids means talking to the kids, not the kids are telling you about their day, and you're whipping up the phone and you're texting something or you're watching something, and they're all excited telling you about their days at school. I know it's very trivial. I drew an elephant with wings, whatever, and you just go yeah. Then you're busy scrolling. It may seem like it's nothing at that point of time, but they're actually absorbing those habits, and kids learn by habits.
Yes, you're right. I think another way actually to minimize screen time is to not look at your phones or your devices when you get up in the morning and before you go to bed. I think it's really important, because from what even myself, I'm actually guilty of looking at my screen or my phone the first thing I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
The first thing I do when I wake
up
in the
morning. I have to off
okay,
the alarm.
not only that, switch off the alarm, right? Not only that, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning after I've switched off the alarm and all is to check what messages I have. And it's
a routine.
Really bad habit.
Yeah, it's a habit.
It's a really bad habit, all right? So it actually starts your day off wrong because you're looking at your screen. So I'm actually guilty of it. But one thing that I think I'm actually doing okay is I don't look at my screen or at my phone before I go to bed.
Okay.
All right. Because
You mean you don't use it while in the bed before you sleep?
I don't use it while in bed before I go to sleep, and I always make sure when we go to bed, my wife and I, we don't look at the screen.
All right.
We have a simple conversation. It can be 10, 15 minutes, can be an hour long, and then go to bed.
Okay.
All right. Because I think
it helps.
And I know married couple, right, whereby they have no conversation, no communication, and they're just playing with their phones before bedtime, and the next thing you know, they just they set an alarm and just go to bed. Yeah, there's like minimal communication between them.
Right. So let's give maybe another two tips on managing of screen time. So, or at least we'll summarize it first. Number one, if you can use the function of setting the screen time limit, it would really help. Number two, try to allocate a specific timeout. I would say dinner time, it will be very, very easy because that's probably the most important social function of the day. Your lunch and everything, if you can, great, but if you can't, at least on your dinner time with your family. And the third thing I would say, try not to do it when you wake up, and don't use the phone while in the bed before you go to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think those three would set something of to restart a simple habit to cut it down. And of course, be very vigilant. I would say number 4. So be very vigilant when you're using your phone with your kids, especially if they've got something to tell you. Just set it aside. It's okay, Don't worry about the message. Just listen to everything they want to tell you, because at the end of the day, once your kids grow up, they don't want you anymore.
Yeah, man. They
once they get their own phone, they don't want to talk to you anymore.
They want nothing to do with you.
And when you say, why you use the phone so much, they just look at you and say, but you used it at me for many years. Yes. So it'll come back to you. It'll bite you in the butt one day. So try to prevent. It's always better than cure. Right, so we hope you guys found this interesting. We'll be back again next week. Do hit that subscribe button below and also the notification bell so that you'll be notified on a weekly basis whenever we have our new episode that's coming on. We want to shout out to Bruce. Hi, Bruce, all the way from Sydney, Australia. Thanks for sending in a comment last week on the 5 a.m. club. So we had quite a good reception.
It's quite a good reception on that. And so again, let us know in the comments below, what are the tactics that you employ or you use to minimize your screen time.
All right, with that, we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye bye.